When do we truly see what foods our wildlife feed on? Or how much they need on a daily basis? Well, you get to know firsthand if you look after them. A sick or injured possum needs 1.5 kilos of browse every night, which means wildlife rehabilitators spend a lot of their time sourcing food. To overcome this problem, here at the Community Environment Centre in Annan Grove in Sydney, a special relationship has been forged between gardeners and wildlife carers growing the feed that animals need. Hey Jess, hey Sean. The scheme came about when wildlife carer Sean Warden came to the Hills Shire Environment Officer Jess Stein to see if plants and plots could be developed to cater for sick and injured animals. Jess, what did you think of Sean's idea?
I thought it was a great idea. I was like, hey, we've got this community environment centre, we've got an active volunteer community out here, we've got this beautiful native garden where we can collect food for wildlife, and we've got some spare land out the back where we can put in some, natural foliage.
And Sean, how is the garden here helping you now?
Well, you know what, it's giving wildlife carers the opportunity to reach out to the community. But also, these wildlife carers, their time is saved by lots of greens for their animals that are in care, and also gardeners, to make a difference in the life of these animals.
So it's really like become a supermarket for your carers.
Yeah, exactly. They're able to come out at any time of night and harvest what they need for the animals.
What animals do you look after?
I look after possums, ringtail possums and brushtail possums. I look after all manner of gliders, so your feathertail gliders, your sugar gliders, and I've even had a pygmy possum in care, which was a real highlight.
Wow. And why generally have they come into your care?
Well, Costa, sometimes it can be hit by car and we have to go to where the animal is lying and make sure that there's no joeys on board and bring them into care. Other times it could be little Joey has just been separated from mum and mum's been spooked and little Joey doesn't know where to go, so we take it into care. We put it in a pod of other little Joeys and we raise them all up together for release. I've got 6 little ones and they come in and we have to hydrate them. Then we have to give them a specialised formula. And then they start gradually moving on to greens and different species of greens. The ringtail possum in particular is an interesting one because it needs 3 different types of eucalypt every single night in order to maintain a healthy gut.
What have you been doing to develop this garden as a restaurant for animals?
Our Community Environment Centre, we've had this native garden established over so many years. So we've got a huge range of flowering natives that already feed our local wildlife around the area, like the native noisy miner or wattle birds, and that can also be a space where wildlife carers can collect from to feed their wildlife in care. And then we've also got our planting plots down the back where we've hand selected a number of local native species that wildlife carers really need that we can collect from to feed rescue wildlife that need it.
So different plants offer different opportunities for the species that you care for.
Yeah, exactly. So some species need the fresh tips, some need the flowers and certain flower shapes as well. So for instance, there's the Kunzia ambigua that is a favourite amongst possums, little joeys especially. It's a great introductory greens for them when they come off their specialised formula. You've got Grevillea, which is fantastic for the eastern spinebill with its curved beak. It can get right into the flower and suck out the nectar, but also the lorikeets love it as well.
So the centre here has become quite a harbour magnet for bringing the carers together.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen that community of wildlife carers really grow so naturally as well.
Kate, what are you picking and who's it for?
Costa, this is just some Grevillea for some little birds I've got in care. All of the native birds require their natural native food when they're in care, and I'm picking some Grevilleas for some of the nectivores. I care for birds when they've either been abandoned or fallen out of nests and they can't be reunited with the parent birds, or alternatively damaged adults that are in care.
How important is access to the browse as a carer, having those beaks looking for food every day?
It's incredibly time-saving because you can spend hours of your day looking for enough flowers to feed all of the birds you've got in care.
How do you feel when they graduate and then you have to let them free?
It's a wonderful feeling to actually let them go into the wild, but I can promise you they never turn around and say thank you.
Hey Ravi, what are you foraging?
So Costa, today I'm foraging for blue-tongue lizards. So the blue-tongue lizards love the berries, wild berries, and also I've got some plum leaves. So just making sure I take back these to my enclosure and make a home for my blue-tongue lizards. I'm actually qualified professional snake catcher, which allows me to go out and catch and release snakes. So we get called out in terms of if there's any injured reptiles.
What are some of the animals you're caring for?
From brown snakes, and then red bellies, and then we got tigers and adders, and then we got bearded dragons. The native trees, the plants and the fruits are very good for them. But once they get better, they're back home, meeting their families, they're meeting their brothers and sisters, and they're just happy.
You know, I feel so energised by hearing the volunteers and the stories and what they're up to.
Yeah, Costa, look, there are 6,000 people just like me who care for these wildlife. They need the greens. They need exactly what this project is bringing to them. We care for hundreds of thousands of animals every single year, and this takes some of those hours and gives it back to the rehabilitators who already give so much.
Whoa, Jess, I mean, what are you seeing for the future?
Well, the Growing Food for Wildlife project has just been such a fantastic initiative. So it's about spreading that word, and hopefully, you know, other councils maybe and other community might want to get involved as well.
I mean, what an invitation, gardeners, that we can grow native plants in our area and in our community to not only enjoy, but to provide food for our wildlife. It doesn't get better than that.